Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Sunday night roundtable with TR Prepper and friends. I was able to snag a new guest tonight, and I'll bring him up here in just a minute. To be honest, I have been out of the loop for several days. I've been down at Pop's Quest, and I don't have internet access down there, so I ain't got a clue what's happening since Thanksgiving, other than a few little things that I've been catching up on since I got home today. So anyway, I'm going to let everybody do an intro, and I'm going to start with, let's see who's the most, Don, Trees Are Blowing, do an intro.
I figured you'd want to go with the most handsome, so appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I'll quit pointing, Blue. Thanks for having me on, TR. It's good to be on. I thought I'd jump in for an hour or so, but you got to let old Dad know when you take off like that, man. I got upset Saturday morning watching Johnny's chat. Oh, TR. So I had to go all the way to back beginning after he closed and watch it. You still wasn't on there. He didn't mention anything. I said, well, I wonder if that rascal's all right. Ain't got much going on here. Really like doing a few videos and stuff, getting them lined up for when I'm off a little bit with the wives. So that's about it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I got in touch with Johnny because I was like, well, damn, I thought I told Johnny I wasn't going to be on. And he got back with me. He's like, yeah, I remembered right before he went live. He remembered that I told him I couldn't be on. But he didn't mention it. But yeah, and to be honest, it was a lot more fun than the hot chick. So
that's the first thing I thought of. I said, well, TR must have a hot date tonight.
No, I was down doing zip lines and shooting guns and way more fun than a chick. Anyway, and special guest, Red October. Do an intro or say whatever the hell you want to say, man.
Hey everybody, it's Red October. First of all, thanks TR for inviting me to the show. I appreciate it, and it's an honor. I'm just an average guy who likes guns, uses common sense, lives down here in Texas, likes to build projects, and meet like-minded folks here on YouTube. There's a bunch of good guys on the panel, so thanks again for inviting me tonight. I hope I can contribute to the chat.
You'll do fine, dude. This ain't that formal of a chat. Rick, is your 6 covered?
What's up, YouTube? Thanks, TR. Nice meeting you, Red, via actually communicating. That's cool. Haven't done that with you yet. What's up, everybody? Not much going on. Fires are still burning up here in North Carolina. So we took off for hiding from the smoke, went down south to South Carolina, did a little camping. But other than that, I finally got my shotgun back, so I'm excited about that. But other than that, it's been a great holiday season.
Cool. Thanks for coming on, man. And Blue, you got anything, buddy?
I'm not going to be able to stay very late tonight. I'm getting up early. Our rifle season starts tomorrow, so I'll be headed out to the farm. Blue Point 2 is going to head out with me, so that's going to be pretty cool. And this is like one of the first hunting seasons I've been like excited for in years, because I'm actually going to have one of my kids out in the woods with me, so that's pretty cool. Other than that, there will be video from that, regardless on if I bag one tomorrow or not. Our season's 2 weeks, so I got 2 weeks to bag one, but there will be some video put up. Other than that, not really a whole lot going on. So thanks for the invite, and can't wait to get this thing started.
Cool. And I will have to admit, I'm pretty wore out. So we may cut this one a little bit short. When I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. I don't know. It depends on how the conversation's going. Anyway, there's Matt. I'll give him a second to get set up.
TR
Like I
did have
said, I've
one.
been out of the loop. So you guys will have to fill me in on what's going on, and I can comment on that. Because it was actually kind of nice to. At first, it kind of gnawed at me a little bit, but at the same time, it was nice to get away from electronic devices for 2 or 3 days and just kind of break myself from it. Just to when I say take a break, I mean take a break. I didn't check Facebook. I couldn't check fucking Google Plus, YouTube, nothing. I mean, I was out of the fucking loop. I couldn't even receive fucking text messages for like 3 days. And it was kind of a relief. It really was. So you guys will have to, whatever's going on, let me know about it. And like I said, I've been playing catch up today, but so anything?
Now, I did want to mention one thing though, because I know I mentioned it on your chat before, with the department that I'm working with, how they wanted to downsize like dramatically. They had their meeting. It was like last Monday or something like that, and within an hour, they'd already decided that they are not cutting anybody from anything, and we should be good to go. And that'll be voted on the first Wednesday in December. So, you know, people, I know you've mentioned this in your chats before, but it really was the voice of the people that saved jobs, that, you know, kept a local police department alive. And that's what it really comes down to. If nobody would have shown up, we would have been done. They would have cut us, and we have a huge area. They would have cut us from 9 guys to 2. And but no, local politics, get out there and speak your mind, because you know your voice does matter, you know, in the smallest political things for your hometown. So just wanted to give that little update. So we'll December, the first Wednesday in December, we'll know for sure, but that's what the word is that they approved a budget with no cuts. So
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've had a lot of people tell me, and you know, on the national election scene, sometimes your voice is not heard, but you still got to get out and vote. You still got to get out and be involved, because on the local level is where we can make a difference. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that Trump won. We made a difference on a national level, but traditionally, you make more headway on a local level than you do and I know I'm probably roboting. I forgot to change out my hard drive.
So far, it's been pretty good.
Okay.
Matt make it in yet?
He's working on it. Yeah, but you had to get involved in your local politics, and to get involved in your local politics, you have to go out every election, whether it's a presidential election or not. Every year there's some kind of election going on, probably on a local level, but at least every 2 years. You got to get involved in that.
yeah, and I would even bump that up just a little bit more, as far as if everything's at a status quo and you're okay with the status quo, by all means, and you know, you don't have to show up at every council meeting. But whenever things start hinky, that's whenever you want to make sure you show up, because that's when your voice really matters. And Matt, I heard you there for a second, and you were seriously roboting.
Can you hear? It's
Yeah.
trying. Don't hear anything now.
Hello.
Tactical,
Okay, change the subject.
tactical cat probably unhooked all his wires.
Yeah, change the subject. Well, kinda, not really, kinda. Like I said, I was down at Pop's Quest Farm this weekend. He had a lot of family down there and friends of family and stuff. And I didn't expect to do any shooting other than like when me and Rob was down there by ourselves, you know. And next thing I know, his family wants to shoot guns. And there was a friend, a family that was a friend of his in-laws or some shit. I don't even know how to get involved in all that. But anyway, next thing you know, because they were getting all into it, and I was like, well, okay, let's just step this shit up. So I go to my truck, pull out an AR-15, bring that out, and a few of them are like, oh shit, let's get. And I was like, well, here, you want to shoot it? You want to, I just kept on. Yeah, I want to shoot it. You want to shoot it? And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, hell yeah, come over here. Let's shoot this thing. So I don't know how to get a commission on it, but I'm pretty sure I sold at least 2 or 3 AR-15s this weekend. Because after they shot them, they were just blown by. Are you sure I can buy this? And I'm like, I'm telling you, just they were, I don't want to shoot up your ammo. I'm like, no, shoot it, pull the trigger, unload it, just shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And they were hooked.
Sounds like you got some new fans.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oop, there I heard Matt.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yep.
You should have tried to sell them on AKs, TR.
I knew they'd say that. You on your phone or computer tonight?
I'm on my computer. The girlfriend's in the other room watching Netflix or something on she's using Wi-Fi. And so I have to have my bandwidth all the way down to audio only. So I can't see you guys. I have the video side, the YouTube side. It's in order to not use any bandwidth. So, but you got me.
Yeah. You're coming in good.
Did you get my happy Thanksgiving text?
You know what? I did, and I was in the middle of doing something, and I thought, well, I'm going to text him back here in a minute. And you know what? I when I saw you on here, when I hopped on, I was like, shit.
You knew I'd say something. What a dick.
Back, Rick.
That's all right.
So happy Thanksgiving, Rick. Late.
All right. Appreciate it. It was a good one.
Yeah, my bad too, Rick. I also got your text, but whenever I'm out at the farm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your ass.
I'm kind of like TR is whenever he goes down to Pop's Quest. There is zero service, so I put my phone on airplane until I have to drive 20 miles to get kind of into the first city, and I turned it on and it came up and we were already at 10:30 at night, and I kind of figured you sent that way earlier, so I didn't even respond. But happy Thanksgiving as well.
I usually try to go through and like Father's Day and stuff, I'll go around and click on the people I know that got kids and just give them a little kudos,
Well, I don't want anybody to feel bad because did you stop by the farm on the way back home?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I did get my
remember somebody
shotgun
saying
back.
that they was going to try to. I know you didn't promise, but I'm just saying.
Hey, you know what? You're right. I did want to try. We made it past you guys to Hilton Head or something like that. Hilton Head, is that right? I was hoping
you're down below us.
Yeah, I was hoping you guys would have started Wednesday because we had to get out of the smoke, so we headed south. But you guys weren't even going to be there till what, Friday? I think you came in what, Thursday night, and then everybody was there Friday. I had like 3 days before that I needed to do something. I had to get the hell out of Dodge.
I'm just fucking with you.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's not like you was
Hey,
right
this will be
beside
a
us.
Farmageddon next April.
I've been to Hilton Head a few times. That's a really neat place.
Yeah, it was cool. It was the first time down there. We stayed at a little RV campground on the water. It was pretty cool. It was neat. It was relaxing. We played cards and played that beanbag toss game. Just had fun cruising around, playing with the dogs and kids. And it's good times.
I saw you sleeping with the dogs. I don't know about playing with them, but I seen you sleeping in the middle of
Yeah,
them.
you saw that? That was so funny, man. We wore those things out. I grabbed one of the kids' skateboards, and I got a new sled team now. I mean, I put the collars on those guys, and poof, talk about fun, but it wore their ass out, which was good because when you got a bunch of rugrats in the motorhome there, you want to tire them out so they're not chewing on stuff because they're only 6 months old, so you got to give them lots of exercise.
Talking about your kids or dogs?
Both. No, I had a full sled team going. I got to get them ready for the snow, in North Carolina, all that thick snow. I got to get my snow dog team set up for the Iditarod.
Well, I was telling the guys, Matt, that I've been out of the loop here for the last few days. I've been trying to catch up. I've caught a few of your stories that you've done. What do you think is the most important thing that we need to at least start out on talking about tonight? Whether it's Dakota, Trump, Hillary, recount, whatever. You name it and we'll run with it.
I don't stress the recount. The recount's a waste of time. I'm not stressing the recount whatsoever. The Dakota protests are getting ready to get shut down, so you can stop hearing and crying about that. And so I think the most important thing people can be doing right now is ammo. I know it probably sounds weird considering the fact we had, Donald Trump as the president-elect and, a Republican majority House, Senate, and the apparent possibility of pro Second Amendment Supreme Court nomination. But if, for lack of better words, if they're going to strike, they're going to strike now when everybody's like leaning back going, we won.
I got a question for you on that. Since Trump's in, right, and he wants to make basically a nationwide concealed carry license, like a driver's license. Now, revert back to the marijuana stuff and how the federal government basically claims it's illegal, but those certain states are allowing it. How much power is that really going to have for Californians when it comes to a national concealed carry? In your thoughts, anybody?
Well, if they treat it like they're talking, I haven't seen the law, but basically what they're talking is treating a concealed weapons permit exactly like a driver's license. So you have the same privileges in California as you do in Virginia or Maine or Florida. So if it goes through the way the short wording of it is that his concealed weapons permit is going to be able to carry in California the exact same way that he can carry where he lives.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, do you think California, okay, so marijuana is illegal basically in the United States. And then some of the states have adopted it as being legal. Federally, it's still illegal as far as I know. But what I'm saying is if we can get the if we can get the concealed carry nationwide, like a driver's license, what do you think the states like California and New York and so on and so on, are you think they're going to trump it via the state?
The concealed weapons permit,
Yeah.
the national reciprocity. Oh, I'm sure they're going to try. And they've been successful with marijuana laws, like Trump and the federal regulations when it comes to marijuana. So, how, and I can't say anything really about it because I support the state's right to be able to trump federal regulations, especially if they're unlawful. But that's that's unlawful in my opinion. So yes, I think a state like California would try to somehow or another do a similar thing to the national reciprocity in that state as Colorado, Florida, California, and other states have done with pot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
it's
that's a
just
whole different ball game. You're looking at it from and I'm not talking about you or Rick. I'm just saying, the states have bucked the federal law, but if it becomes federal law that my South Carolina permit is good in California or New York or whatever, that's a whole different ball game, and it'll probably have to be tested before we'll really realize. But at the same time, if they put forth a actual bill and it passes a law that my South Carolina permit is good in New York City, that means I can walk the New York City streets with a handgun. The marijuana thing is a different thing. The federal government is still illegal to have marijuana, and the states are bucking it. So it's a complete reverse. I mean,
No, but yeah, even in reverse, I think because you're right, federally marijuana is illegal, and if they do the national reciprocity, concealed carry federally is legal. But I think that states like California, and I think even cities like Chicago will try to pull something. Will try to pull something as far as getting around the national reciprocity law. Thing of it is that if the national reciprocity law goes in, from that point until the state decides to make a law, you'll be able to do that. And I think once people start doing it, I think you're going to see a bigger pushback against that. How am I trying to say it? I think you'll see a bigger pushback from the people in that state that would try to go around the national reciprocity law, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean, the bottom line is and there's still room for debate on this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that. I know where you come from, Matt. I'm just saying, if there is a actual federal law saying that my South Carolina concealed weapon permit is good in any state in the union, I think the states will have a hard time, discounting it. It's a little bit different when it was the other way around, when states were, saying, "Yeah, fuck you, we're going to do this anyway," and then you had a little bit different situation. But when it's the federal government, and I'm not saying that it's a good thing, because with a federal concealed weapon permit thing, we can get into some things that we don't want as gun owners. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But if the federal government lays down a federal law saying that my permit is good in any state in the union, I think the states would have a hard time trying to fight it. unless I'm missing something.
Hey, I wanted to jump in. So just to get y'all's thought on this, and Blue, I guess this is kind of towards you. I mean, what's your thinking, or what's the police force thinking on building that bridge with the community as far as that do carry, or that do exercise their the right to carry, because I don't think all states across the United States have that mindset. Like in New York, I mean the idea of people carrying guns is, I don't think that that's going to set well with those folks. Where if you're talking about North Carolina, Texas, Colorado versus like California, some states are just, I just don't see them swallowing that, sort of say.
Well, my thought on the gun thing is this: if California doesn't want to be part of it, I think that they have the right as a state to not be part of a federally mandated concealed carry. That's the right of the state, not the right of the federal government. However, the same thing. I personally don't care. I would rather everybody carry a gun, everybody, and that's just the way I look at it. But as far as the federal government coming down and saying that you have to allow these people to concealed carry, I don't really agree with that. I mean, it's up to the individual state as far as I'm concerned. And if New York or California or, I'll just leave it at those two. If they say, no, you're not allowed to conceal carry, I don't care what the federal government says. If you go to one of those states on a federal government, hey, look, I've got my federal concealed license. I really think those states, as long as they have posted it that they're completely opposed and you will be arrested, they have that right. I think that they do. And then that just means that we stay out of those states, don't visit them, implore our families to get out of them, so that whenever shit hits the fan, those are the first states to go.
I will definitely disagree with you, Blue. The Constitution of the United States tells me I can carry a fucking concealed weapon. I can carry an open weapon. I can carry any weapon. I could carry a fucking M60 strapped to my back, according to the Constitution. And if the federal government comes out and says, you know what, we're going to let the Constitution speak, you can carry a gun, you can have a gun, you can own a gun, you can carry however the fuck you want. A state cannot tell me I can't. That is when the Constitution comes into effect, and that is the only reason for the federal government to step in and say no.
I'm not talking about if you're a New York resident or if you're a California. I'm talking South Carolina resident goes to California, Pennsylvania resident goes to New York. I still, even though we are American citizens, oh boy.
Well, no. Think about it.
That's the reason why I brought this up.
Here's the thing: is that if they word the national reciprocity law similarly or almost exactly like the driver's license laws, where every state, basically your driver's license has reciprocity in every state, essentially. States like California are going to have a hard time. They're going to try, but I think they're going to have a hard time not allowing it, because it sets a really dangerous precedence for driver's licenses, for marriage licenses, for everything else that is valid in all 50 states except for a concealed carry permit. So I think they're going to set a dangerous precedence if they pass a law in that state to go around national reciprocity. With that being said, I agree with TR that our Second Amendment is our concealed weapons permit, period. And I don't even think there should be a national reciprocity law. It should just be said, oh, you have a gun question? Refer to the Second Amendment, especially the last part, shall not be infringed. And not that I don't like states' rights. I mean, we've sat here for countless hours and talked about states' rights. Might as well, we did say out there that states' rights can be a double-edged sword, which we've also talked about. So somewhere there's a gray area, somewhere there's a happy medium. And I would say, as trying to be as unbiased as possible, because I'm a gun guy just like anybody else, I would say that if they're going to write the law like they do license laws, then the states should not be able to go around it. With that being said, if they fuck up with writing the national reciprocity law, leaving room for states to do so, then it's the states' rights to do so.
And here's what they should do. They should go ahead and do a federal representative, blah, 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 however you say it. You know, just like a driver's license. My concealed permit should be good in any state in the union. If you don't agree with that, whatever state it is, they should cut off all federal funding whatsoever. No welfare, no food stamps, no Section 8 housing, no nothing. You cut off all federal fucking funding.
And that would hurt
Highways,
California.
everything.
California is home to 30% of all the welfare recipients in the country.
That's how they passed the 55, mile-an-hour speed limit. That's how they pass everything. The drinking age, everything. It's like, look, you either do this or we cut off your funding. And we'll never spend another federal dollar in your state again. So they can pass. So they should pass the federal concealed weapon permit, good in every state. If you don't agree with it, we'll give you states' rights. We'll just cut off federal funding. And and I've talked on the other side of that too. Don't get me wrong. But same thing. That's what they should do. They should pass it. And if you don't agree with it, okay, fuck it. You don't get any federal funding. Your citizens will pay federal taxes, but you will not get any of it back. And you do whatever you want. There you go.
TR, I gotta try to save face a little bit. I don't know if you caught the internal. This is why you should not drink prior to the chats. I don't know how I did it. I don't know. The federal government stepping in on marijuana laws. That is where I have an issue with, because nothing covers that. You know, it should be up to the states. With the Second Amendment, with the firearms, absolutely. It's across the board. You have the right to bear arms. That's what it is. You know, this was not a, oh shit, I fucked up because they're disagreeing with me. This is because, oh shit, I fucked up because I've been drinking too much. So take it as it is. Sorry about that. But yeah, the marijuana thing, but not getting off the gun thing, marijuana, who cares? It's fucking weed. How many huge fights, brawls have I gone to with people smoking weed? I can't think of a goddamn one. Can't think of one.
Sorry about that, Blue. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, man.
No, you and you didn't. No, you Red. You didn't put me on the spot. It was that in the state of alcohol, I crossbred both my thoughts and I started talking on one, meaning the other. And you guys that are on the panel that are regulars, you know what my standpoint is on that. So it was an honest mistake with alcohol involved.
Well, I can tell you, I'm wore the hell out. Alcohol involved. And so if I get off tangent, make sure and call me out. Because I am not prepared for this chat tonight. So if I get off topic or askew, yeah, go ahead and smack me across the face and say, wait a minute, that ain't what the fuck we're talking about, TR. It's all good.
Yeah, when the last bag of Funyuns is there, Blue, then that's when the riots start happening. Last pizza slice, all that fun stuff.
But I've talked about this before. As far as states, you know, wanting to pass something that the federal government don't agree with, and vice versa. That should be a two-way street. You know, if the states truly believe in something and they say, you know what, we don't give a damn what you want, federal government, we're going to do this. And if the federal government cuts them off, they should say, okay, fine, fuck it, cut us off. But you'll never receive another damn dollar from our state as far as workers. I'm pretty sure most of us kind of pay attention to our paycheck and how many federal dollars get took out of our paycheck. Social Security, Medicaid, federal income tax. If a state really wanted to go rogue and say, hey, we're going to do this. We don't care whatever you want to do. We're going to do this. And if the federal government says, well, we'll cut you off, because they continuously threaten states with this, I think the states just say, well, fuck you. Okay, fine. Cut off our federal funding, but you will never receive another dollar from this state, period, ever again. And we'll bump up our damn state income tax, and we'll take care of our own people. With that being said, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, no, I thought you were done. There was a long pause there, or maybe it's just on my end. But as far as states go and states' rights go, I've never supported an Article 5 convention, mainly because I don't trust, I don't trust the collection of states to, open up the Constitution and say, these are the changes we're going to make. But in this one particular instance, I kind of can't wait for an Article 5 to pass allowing states to secede. Because right now they constitutionally can't secede. And with California wanting to get the hell out of here,
Well, I wasn't even talking about seceding, Matt. I was just saying that if a state, the federal government, like I said, whether it was the alcohol age limit, the speed limit on highways, the federal government, how they get states to pass things and to go along with it is they threaten to cut off the federal funding. They don't have to succeed. They can just say, okay, well, you know what? We're not going to go along with that. But what will happen is we will not feed the machine. We're not going to take federal funds out of our state employees and pay you any more money. If you want to cut off our highway funding and all that, we're not going to pay you anything else. We'll be part of the union, but we're not seceding.
That kind of goes with what I said. I mean, if the federal government passes a law that a state doesn't like, whether it's a law that we like or not, like national reciprocity, if a state doesn't like a law that the federal government passes, they'll have the right to get the fuck out of here,
See, I don't think they should be able to mess with anything on the Bill of Rights. Other than that, they can do state laws, but there's no point.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Let's use the Bill of Rights. Let's use specifically the Second Amendment of the Constitution. If California doesn't like rights, then they can fucking leave because it's part of the Constitution. That's what I'm saying is that let's get another amendment going, giving the states a right to secede, and then California or Massachusetts or wherever says no, we're not going to let people carry guns. Then the states get together and go, oh yeah, well guess what? You're not a fucking state anymore, asshole, because you don't like the Constitution.
No, I think you're missing the point here, and this is, and I could be wrong, Matt. I think me and you may be thinking of two different things. When the federal government passes a law, Okay, I'm just going to say age limit on drinking alcohol. I can bring this up because this is something that happened in my lifetime. Federal government says, okay, bam, you got to be 21 to buy a beer. The only way they were able to coerce the states into passing that law was threatening to cut off their federal funding. But all the states had to do is say, we don't care. We don't want your federal funding. And they could have left it at 18. And the federal government had no legal way to make them pass a law, agree to it, to where they, made you had to be 21 to buy alcohol. They didn't. They had no legal standing to make a state say you have to be 21 to buy a beer. What they did, they threatened them with cutting off their highway funds, their welfare, all that shit. Cut off your funds. We're not going to fund your state if you don't do this. All the state had to do is say, well, fuck it. We don't give a shit. But at the same time,
I understand that.
The state, but the state controls that federal money that comes out of people's paychecks and sends it to the federal government. They can say, fuck you. We're cutting that off to you. You cut off our federal funding, we'll cut off your federal funding. We're not succeeding. We're not trying to, start a fucking revolution. If you want to cut off our funds, we'll cut off your funds. That's all they got to do.
No, I get that. I totally understand what you're saying.
Now, I've got a question for Dawn. I'm not picking on the age here, but whenever like your state or states that you've lived in or resided in, did anything ever change with the federal government as far as what you can remember, speed limits, drinking age, that type of stuff, to where the federal government actually came down and said, you change or we're going to mess with, we're taking your funding? Do you remember anything like that?
Honestly, I don't, Blue. I know when they come out with that national 55 speed limit, Michigan followed right in with it. As far as the drinking age, I never paid much attention to it. I was always old enough to drink. Almost the time I was born, I was so big and ugly.
Now was there a speed limit in the state you were at prior to that, or was it just drive safely?
No, there was a speed limit, and when what was it, back in the 70s, 80s, when the federal government mandated a 55 on all interstate highways, Michigan fell right in line with it.
Yeah, I think Ohio, from Michigan to Florida, that I-75 route, Ohio was the last one to take that 55 speed limit off.
And that's how they done it. The federal government threatened to cut off the fucking their funds, the highway funds. They said, we'll cut off your funds if you do not pass a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. We will cut off your funds if you do not mandate a 21-year-old drinking age. That's how they done it. They couldn't force them to do it. There's no law they could do. The federal government could not pass any law making a state do it. They had to threaten to cut off their fucking funds. And that's how they got fucking passed.
So how was it before then? Each state had their own speed limit designated? Because I know, like, in places, there's 70 miles an hour and 65 and so on. But before that was mandated, what was the ruling? How did it work?
Well, when it comes to traffic laws, the states have almost always exclusively made their own laws. What TR is talking about, there are certain ones that the federal government overstepped on and wanted to make national, but they couldn't because of how traffic laws are written, because it's state by state. And so to do the seatbelt law, for instance, to do the national 55 mile an hour for the interstates, they threatened to cut off road funding is what it amounted to. And so the states fell in line. But almost exclusively that I can think of, states have always made their own traffic laws.
See, and I agree with Matt on that, because like what he's talking, the seatbelt law, you go from one state to the other, adults not wearing a seatbelt is a primary violation. You can pull them over. Where I work at, that's not a primary violation. It's illegal to not wear your seatbelt, but I cannot stop you for not wearing your seatbelt. If you have a 4-year-old or an 8-year-old bouncing around in the back seat, I can stop you for that. However, you go over to, I don't know what state, because I don't know the other laws, but there are states where, there's cops that are driving down through intersections and they're stopping, looking left and looking right at the cars beside them to see if they have their seatbelts on. And if you're an adult driver, you can be pulled over for that and cited. So yeah, that's one of those, and it is a federal, not a federal law, but it's a federal, we want you to do this. We want you to make it this so that we can up your funding for highway improvement. We can up your funding for special police details to enforce these laws. But I really think the states that don't get that, they just don't care anymore.
And one of the reasons for the 55-mile-an-hour law and I do know the reason why, and believe it or not, it wasn't because the federal government just wanted to control what the states were doing. It really wasn't. If you know anything about the trucking industry and you know anything about how roads are made, trucks, not so as much cars, but the slower the trucks travel, longer lifespan the highways have. And so the federal government doesn't have to shell out as much money to repair the interstates. That's why they wanted that law passed nationally, but they couldn't do it nationally, so they had to threaten the states to do it.
And a lot of it, Matt, was because I think it was back in the 70s when they first come up with it. It was easier on fuel back when there was some oil shortages and stuff like that too.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought was fuel.
We're talking about seatbelt laws, and they're out there talking about helmet laws. I think we just talked about that the other day. One of my biggest problems, believe it or not, with seatbelt law is the fact that there's no law that I have to wear a helmet. How fucking hypocritical is that? I don't think there should be seatbelt laws personally, but law and not have a helmet law, how in the hell is anybody supposed to take you seriously?
I will tell you this much. A seatbelt does work. Not that you should have to wear it, but if you want to stay in a vehicle, I've seen, unfortunately, I've seen a lot when it comes to this category, but a seatbelt works. And when the airbags came out, even what a huge help that was.
On this seatbelt thing, it's funny you brought that up, Rick, but and I wear my seatbelt all the time. But in '73, I was in a car accident. And when I was laying in the hospital afterwards, the police officer actually come in, and the first words out of his mouth, "Damn, are you still alive?" And he says, "It's just a damn good thing you didn't have your seatbelt on." Because the way any of you, you probably don't know, but I left the viaduct from I-69. I'd been out partying the night before and fell asleep on my way home from work and ended up in the southbound lane of 75. I hit the guardrail so bad on I-75, it run the engine back, turned the car around, smashed the back end back, and I was turned sideways. And the police officer said if I'd had a seatbelt on, I would have had that engine right in me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, seatbelts in certain situations work, and in other situations they're a death sentence. Same thing with helmets though too. When I got my 60 mile an hour, and I did a triple gainer over top of a car, and I was told by 2 doctors, had I been wearing a helmet, that we wouldn't be having the conversation because it had killed me. And I don't wear helmets.
And just real quick, guys, I got to jet off, but on the seatbelt and helmet laws, that is not down to the federal government. What that is up to our healthcare providers. they take the averages on people that are wearing their seatbelts, not wearing their seatbelts, have a helmet on, not having a helmet on, and they base it off of the healthcare treatment that you receive on, wearing a seatbelt versus not. And that trickles down to the federal government. That's my belief anyway. But guys, I got a jet. I got to go hunting in the morning. So have a good night.
Later, Blue.
Hey, good luck, Blue.
Later, Blue.
Hey, good luck shooting.
Yeah.
Bring back
And
some.
I won't argue anybody that there are times where a helmet or a seatbelt could be the bad thing. But you can do whatever you want. I don't care if you wear a seatbelt or not. I don't care if you wear a helmet or not. But you can't tell me overall you're not safer with a seatbelt or a helmet. I'm not buying it.
Hey, TR.
I'm not. If that was true, race car drivers and motorcycle race car drivers would be better off running butt fucking naked 180 miles an hour into a curve.
You're talking an
With
extreme.
nothing on, and they would be safer.
Extreme. I mean, come on. You can't compare normal day-to-day drive to work to a fucking NASCAR
Well, I mean,
track.
if you're driving 50 miles, if you're driving 50 miles an hour, they're driving 50 miles an hour, and you hit head on, it's hitting a brick wall at 100 miles an hour. You're probably dead anyway. Now, don't get me wrong, Matt. What I'm saying is, I don't care. I don't think there should be a seatbelt law. I don't think there should be a helmet law. You should be able to do whatever you want. If you don't want to wear a seatbelt, if you don't want to wear a helmet, I'm cool with that. In South Carolina, I don't have to wear a helmet where I'm driving my motorcycle, but there's a seatbelt law. But at the same time, I can ride in the back of a fucking pickup truck with nothing. It's fucking stupid. It's ridiculous fucking laws,
Yeah.
and they're stupid. I don't believe in them. And I don't, I think everybody should do whatever the fuck they want, But I mean, me personally, I prefer to wear a helmet. I prefer to wear a seatbelt. But, that's just me. But at the same time, in my state, I don't have to wear a helmet, seatbelt, which is stupid, makes no fucking sense. And I can ride in the back of a pickup truck going 80 miles an hour down the fucking interstate, and I'm legal. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, same here, TR. I mean, I see guys, riding their motorcycle with no helmet. What gets me is when there's traffic and then it's kind of slowed down, and you have the motorcycle going between the vehicles, just going all the way down like that fucker. But the whole thing about the truck thing too, I mean, people can ride in the back of the trucks, and I mean, we did it as kids, and nobody got hurt around me. But yeah, it just varies from state to state. You do have to have a seatbelt here in Texas, and some cities don't allow the whole having the phone on the dashboard or the window. So it varies.
So splitting lanes is legal in Texas then?
Oh,
Red?
sorry. I'm sorry, Matt. What was that?
I said, so splitting lanes in Texas is legal?
It's not legal. It's just people do it because there's no way for them to get caught if they're riding between the vehicles. I mean, if a cop is sitting in a vehicle, a car, there's no way for him to get up to him. So I mean, I've seen that quite often where motorcycles will do that, but it's not legal.
Yeah, because it is legal in some places.
Okay.
And that's why I asked, because I don't see people do it very often.
Yeah.
I've done it. I'll admit I've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done it at highway speeds, at 80 mile an hour, going between two cars that are sitting next to each other on a 2-lane highway. So what are you guys doing?
Yeah, and I'd rather see somebody on the shoulder lane do that than do that between cars, because I think, just one little turnover and that's it. The guy's going to crash. But on the shoulder right lane, I mean, if they want to do that, that's fine. I've seen trucks cross over mediums to get to the frontage road. So, I mean, everybody breaks the law, I guess, at some point. But I just it amazes me how some motorcycle drivers will just take chances like that. I'm just like, dude, if he flips off that bike, that's it. He's done. But,
As far as I know, California is the only state that allows that it's legal to lane split.
Is it okay? I knew it was in California. I didn't know if it was anywhere else.
There's a rule though with the miles per hour over what the other people are doing, I believe, and they sure in the hell don't do it because you'll be sitting there and you're just like, you know what? You're going to be possibly injured in another mile up there. That's crazy on the stuff they do, especially the guys on the what is it, rice rockets or whatever.
Now those things just breed stupid riding, in my opinion.
Oh man, they haul out. I mean, they're doing wheelies and shit on the freeway and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Now, before I get lynched by anybody who rides a rice rocket, I'm not saying everybody who rides one rides stupid.
Yeah,
but most people I know that have bought one have ended up selling it because they said, I'm going to do something stupid on that because it's so quick.
They're fast, man. Hauling balls. That's
why I bought a 250cc rice rocket because I can't do that shit. It keeps me tame. It's fun in the mountains, but it's no hot rod by no means.
But I think we all agree. Oh, maybe not. I really hadn't heard from Don, and Red didn't say much about it. But I have the feeling that most of us agree that mandating somebody to wear a seatbelt and mandating somebody to wear a helmet is not. Do it if you want.
I mean, if you want to ride with no helmet or seatbelt, that's up to you. But I don't feel sorry for anyone that gets injured or dies from it. That's their choice they made. It's your right. If you want to take that chance, it's up to you. I'm not one to impose on someone else's decision. If they want to make a bad decision, do drugs or whatever, drink and drive, that's up to you. But it's just, what gets me is when some other innocent person gets killed because of that. But I'm not saying I want everyone to wear a helmet and seatbelt. I mean, that's up to you. It's your life. So.
Well, and that's the thing. Helmets. I mean, I've seen heads minus the body with the helmet on, and obviously that helmet didn't work. You know what I mean? The person still died because it got decapitated. But
well, that's one of the
slower injuries, stuff like that. I mean, it does take the impact out, keeps you from smashing your Abdullah oblongata.
That's one of the problems with helmets is your neck has spent its whole life holding up a certain amount of weight. And so that's what the muscles in your neck is used to, tendons and muscles and so on. You add, 3 pounds of helmet on your head and your fucking neck's going, what the hell's this, when it gets snapped forward or back. That's one of the many reasons that I don't wear a helmet is that, I know too many people. I realize it goes the other way around too. I'm not saying it's 100% all the time, but I know too many people who've had their necks snapped by a helmet. They could have died. Who knows? Nobody's ever going to know. But I know too many people who've had their necks snapped by a helmet. And I don't want to live like that.
Yeah, I feel it's up to the individual, like the seatbelt, like what happened to me. That was an exception, probably an exception to the rule that it's a good thing I didn't have one on at that time. Back then I was almost 400 pounds and I filled up the seat anyway, So I think it's silly to have the laws like that. And like Michigan for quite a few years had the helmet law. Well, here a year or two ago, they took it off. So you got guys riding, which is fine. I don't ride a bike, so that don't pertain to me anyway. But there shouldn't be a law to mandate you have to wear your seatbelt. I mean, I wear them faithfully, now, once the law went in, because now Michigan can pull you over if they suspect you don't have a seatbelt. Where before they couldn't do that, but now they can. So, and from 25 to 150, $200 fine, I think I'll wear the blame thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you imagine,
speaking
guys? I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Speaking of Michigan, as somebody who spent 20 years riding in Ohio, I of course ducked into Michigan every now and then. The way Michigan's helmet law, man, Michigan judges used to get pissed because the way Michigan's helmet law used to read, and I think they've changed it now, is the cops would pull you over and write you a ticket if you didn't have a DOT approved helmet on. But the Michigan helmet law did not say DOT approved with the specifications of padding thickness and all that. It just said head protection. And so people were riding in Michigan with novelty helmets, with bandanas, and shit like that, getting pulled over, and they're like, fuck you. I'm following your law the way it's written.
Yeah, there's always gray area. Fight the system. I remember that though, because the Harley guys, they'd have that real thin brim, real tight, basically just sat on there. It was like super thin, no, non-DOT approved. It looked like a cool helmet, I guess, if you're a Harley guy.
Yes, it's the only helmet I've ever owned. It's one of those.
But it's
but Michigan did lift their helmet.
Those still don't do shit anyways if you get in a wreck. Someone brought up a good point too, Matt, and it was on a comment you made. Basically, the velocity, what was it? Speed and velocity of the impact crash, a 3-pound helmet is irrelevant to irrelevant in the equation. I don't know, but yeah, your neck, your neck's runs your spinal cord, and you crack it right here, and you're going to be a quadriplegic. So maybe it is better to to pass away than for some. I don't know.
Hey, Rick, I have a question for you. You there, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay. And I've just heard that whenever you get an accident, and I guess this kind of ties into the seatbelt thing, is that they said, never tense up your body like you're trying to brace yourself, because I've heard people trying to put their arms or the hands on the dashboard or their legs, and then with the impact, it just it breaks their arms, their legs. Instead, they should just be loose and kind of go with the flow with the accident. And I guess that kind of goes with the helmet with what Matt's saying, is that trying to resist the impact it's not going to stop it, right?
Well, and that's a good point. The people that usually survive the worst gnarly accidents, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that person's alive, is someone that has been intoxicated. So to bring in that, basically they're just jelly, right? They're in there, they're not doing anything. You know what I mean? They're not even realizing that they're in an accident, so they don't have time to brace per se. Those are the ones that do the best. Because, yeah, like you said, they're not bracing, they're not trying to. I talked to this one guy. He was on a street bike, or I guess they're all street bikes unless it's a dirt bike. It was a rice rocket, right? And he had a leathers on, and he endoed. I was talking to him, and he had endoed doing like 110 on a freeway. Someone cut in front of him, and he slid. And it's amazing what that leather can do. He basically said that the worst part is it just got hot, so he would have to move to different body parts, just because of the heat from the blacktop grinding away at his race leathers. So I mean, they make stuff, and those gnarly road rashes, like when you see guys ride motorcycles and stuff, and they're wearing shorts or flip flops. All I can think of is just calls where that blacktop is just eating away at them.
Yeah, I saw an accident outside of my town where I live at, and I had just turned the corner, and of course it was a motorcycle. Guy didn't have the helmet on, in some shorts, and I guess he ran into the vehicle, or the vehicle hit him. But when we had turned around the corner, his ankle, this ankle part was just severed from the rest of the leg. He was just laying there. And I was like, oh God. I mean, just it looked like his leg was about to, or his foot was gonna just fall off. It was just barely dangling on the bone. So
The skin was
yeah,
just holding it there. That's all.
yeah, exactly.
All right, I just want to back up a minute. Not trying to justify wearing a seatbelt, wearing a helmet, riding in the back of the truck. Let's get back to basics. Should the state be able to mandate whether you do any of that or not? That was the whole issue.
No,
And whether I wear a seatbelt, I wear a helmet when I ride a bike, but I don't think anybody else should have to by law. Does anybody agree or disagree with that?
If the castle doctrine in your state, as in most states, covers your vehicle and, including motorcycle, as part of your home, then they should not be able to tell you that you have to wear a seatbelt. And that I don't think any state should be able to tell you you have to wear a seatbelt. But from a hypocritical point of view, if your state castle law treats your vehicle like your home, definitely no, it'll mandate you.
I agree with you, Matt, and I think this is where it comes into play, because I work along the lines of state and government type of office work, and I used to work for related field to like insurance. And what happens is I think the insurance companies, which have a lot of money, they write these laws and follow them with the state because they don't want to have to pay out claims on accidents where they could have possibly been prevented. And so they push for those laws to be written in, and then the state passes them because they're like, yeah, it's a good law, and the insurance companies don't have to pay those money outs. But I agree, if you want to wear a helmet or not, it should be up to the individual. But I think that's where the state gets involved, because the big insurance companies pay for those, or they try to get those laws passed, and that's where I guess the politics come into play.
Oh, no, insurance companies, of course, have a lot to do with it. And there was a couple of comments about insurance companies out there. And I think that's an easy fix. I mean, as it stands right now, if you have a bad driving record, your insurance goes up. If you've had a lot of wrecks, your insurance goes up. If you're young, your insurance goes up. If you're really old, on the verge of being a dangerous driver because of your age, then your insurance goes up. And there's a lot of reasons your insurance goes up. So if you're going to ride a motorcycle, then take responsibility for it. I don't wear a helmet. I won't wear a helmet unless it's in a helmet law state. And anybody can think what they want about that, but I won't do it. But on my insurance form, when I'm requesting insurance, they also have the right to A, not insure me if they don't want to, and B, have it on the questionnaire, do you wear a helmet when riding? You get into a wreck and you don't have your helmet on, that's a breach of contract, and they don't have to cover you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, you don't have to. I don't care if you do or not. I really don't. I don't care if people wear seatbelts or not. I don't think states should be able to pass a law to mandate that. If I can ride in the back of a pickup truck, you shouldn't be able to tell me I have to wear a seatbelt. In South Carolina, I don't have to wear a helmet when riding my bike. So you shouldn't be able to have a law saying I have to wear a seatbelt inside a cage. I get it. I mean, I really do get it, Matt. And I don't think any of those laws should be legal. My personal preference has nothing to do with the law. I do what I want to do because that's what I want to do, not because it's the law. Has nothing to do with the law. You know.
And like MD Prepper said, would you be able to afford the insurance premiums if you checked, I never wear a helmet? That doesn't matter, really. I mean, if you don't wear a helmet, then you should be prepared to premium. When you're 19, you pay a higher insurance premium. When you have a higher insurance premium, that's when I had a reckless operation and a half dozen speeding tickets and just got my license back, I had an outrageous. And yes, I was able to afford it. Why? Because I take responsibility for my shit. So if what I'm talking about comes true, where on the insurance form, they ask you, do you wear a helmet? And you check no. And your insurance premium goes up $50 a month or whatever. Guess what? That's your own fault because you don't wear a helmet. That's the choice that you made.
Yeah. And that should be it. Period. We're done. Next conversation. Like I said, the whole thing was states issuing fucking regulations, or not regulations, but laws, because the federal government wants them to do it. Was that not how we started this conversation?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you started this conversation talking about hookers and cocaine, but
Oh shit! Damn, I missed that part. Hey, let's go back to that.
Yeah, where was that at? Where was I at on that? Damn it.
conversation I was having with somebody else. I don't know.
Well, then the question is,
It's been a while. Hang on.
should you be required to have insurance for your vehicle if it's a state law?
We talked about that on Friday to extent.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I'm not going through that again.
What was the outcome? That's just
Shoot him in
kidding.
the face.
Yeah, shoot him.
Yeah, shoot him in the face.
Shoot him in the face.
The outcome was basically that you have to walk that fine line. Do you require people to carry insurance? And if not, you're taking the responsibility that you and your car isn't getting fixed because your insurance isn't going to cover it, but who covers the other person? That's where the gray area came in. So do you have property insurance that is all encompassing, that is vehicle, home, and like renters, all your property? Do you have health insurance that covers health? Property insurance covers property, but where does the insurance that covers the other person, like liability, come in? It was an hour conversation that constantly.
Hey Matt,
came
we
down
covered that on Friday. We don't need to talk about that. Sorry, I just kidding. Appreciate that. Show off your guns, they say.
I did get a couple new things. I don't know if my camera's going to work though.
Show it.
Am I coming through? Is everything working?
Now it is.
Yeah.
You got a black hat on and a white beard.
Yeah, you can see you plain as
Yeah,
day.
but that any day though.
That's true.
The other day, I trained with one who wants to do fighting training, and the problem is nobody's got any practice knives. So
That's cool.
It's cold steel knives.
Looks like K-bars.
Yeah. Yep. They're plastic K-bars.
Nice.
I didn't show you this yet, Matt. Check it out. Finally got it. So I tried opening it up, and then I figured out I needed to send it to a professional.
What am I looking at?
You were looking at my new 3 gun. It's basically setup for. I still got to get the extension tube for it, but it's a Stoeger 3000, basically a knockoff Benelli. Great semi-auto.
Cool.
With the ports all opened up for quick reloads.
Oh, okay. That I was wondering if you just like chromed it out or if that was polished.
No, you can see how far down that's knocked out. It normally was way up here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How often you get bit with that lifter?
Well, that's the reason why it's opened up the way it is. It's basically I don't know if you can see it, but you have 2 shells in your hand, well, 4, and then you're loading 2, and then you load 2 more. So it just makes it so it's quicker and faster. Instead of like stock where it's basically just the width of the shell, this is like a big funnel. You can just throw them in there real fast.
Obviously,
this will be a Farmageddon if you end up showing up.
Didn't watch my last video.
No, I haven't seen your last video. You make videos?
No, I even said in the video, I'm not talking about 3-gun shooters or competition shooters when I was like, leave your fucking guns alone.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one. Oh, I all my guns.
Yeah, man.
Me and Rob watched that by sitting by the campfire. Rob was fucking rolling in the floor. He's talking about me. And I was like, no, he said he was talking about fucking real guns, not your fucking competition gun. Because he was thinking about, Rob's tricked out a Glock.
You know what, though?
Rob has all the fucking tricked out Glocks. And it's like, he's talking about your fucking carry gun. He ain't talking about that bullshit.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you do this to a home protection shotgun?
When you go to Farmageddon, you're going to have to use my Mossberg 500 as stock. You ain't using
you guys are using all this shit. You're using this one.
No, you're using a fucking Mossberg pump shotgun. You're not using that shit.
Well,
that's
actually,
that's fucking turkey hunting.
Actually, what Rick did, just opening that up a little bit, talking about in the video, because it doesn't affect the function of the gun.
Yeah, this is just taking some metal to turn it into a funnel.
Yeah, that now if he would have gone inside it with a Dremel and started like things and ramping things and shit like that, then it's like, dude, it ran fine before. You have no reason to do that. Now you're just fucking shit up. But
I agree, man. I'm glad you did that video because I was thinking about all the modifications that people do to their guns, and then the legal issues that they have if you put on there like shoot them in the face on written on the gun, or something like we don't call 911, or modifying your gun so much that they think that you've taken it to the extreme. So I mean, you do have to think about all the modifications. Just because they're out there doesn't mean you should do them, because you can get
right. Yeah, the possible legal ramifications of a highly modified pistol being used in self-defense is very real. Not to mention the breakage issues. Once you start modifying the shit out of the internals of a pistol, you're deteriorating its reliability.
Right, because I think the prosecutor, they'll go after your ass, and they'll look for anything that they can make their case on as far as what you did to that firearm. Unless you're doing competition like Rick, I mean, you can at least justify it.
Yeah, but why would you not do this? I'm going to do this to my Mossberg 930. It's it's a home protection gun. If you can throw,
I'm not talking about that.
No, I know. I was talking about red. Why not throw that in there? No, but I'm just saying, not what you're saying, Matt, but just in general, why aren't these opened up even on a home protection gun to get more shells in it faster?
I've done a lot of research on this. There's only been one case in American history where somebody modifying a gun for its trigger ever had a criminal case brought against them. Only one. Period. And in that case, the guy said he accidentally shot the guy, and he had a custom trigger in his gun. So he accidentally shot the guy, had a custom trigger in it, and that's where they got him. If you ever intentionally shoot somebody, if you meant to fucking pull the trigger, he was a fucking threat, she was a fucking threat, whatever, there is no chance of you going to criminal court. I mean, you may go to criminal court, don't get me wrong, but if you were defending yourself, you was in the right, you will not go to jail. I don't give a fuck if you got a 1 pound trigger on your Glock. If you did it on purpose and you were justified, you will not go. Well, I should say that, but you were in the right. There's only been one case in the entire fucking history of the United States of somebody modifying a trigger and going to jail for it. But they said they accidentally shot the guy. They didn't intentionally do it.
Was that in the house, or you're saying out and about, TR?
No, I'm saying period. Period.
No, but I'm saying I think there would be a difference if somebody came in your house and you shot them, whether it's 1 pound trigger or 8 pound versus out and about. I think that they would look at that to some degree.
I'm saying there's only been one case in the entire fucking United States history of somebody modifying a trigger, shot somebody, and went to jail for it. They got criminally prosecuted for it.
What
one?
You're saying criminally prosecuted. You're saying convicted, charged and convicted. But there has been, and like I said in my video, you look at the George Zimmerman case where he didn't even modify his gun. His gun just didn't have a safety on it, and stood on that like a fucking stack of Bibles. You know, they stood on that thing. It was like, why doesn't he have a safety? Because he meant to shoot somebody. He wanted to shoot somebody, and that's the point. Is a good prosecutor will bring up your. Now, whether or not it ends up having any bearing on the case or not is up to the judge and jury. Some defense shootings do go to jail.
You could be held liable in a civil court, in a civil court for that. But as far as criminal, you going behind bars, that's only happened one time. One fucking time in American history. And the guy said he accidentally shot the other guy. One time. Only one. Let me repeat this. One fucking time has that ever fucking happened. Now, you could be sued and they take your fucking house and everything you fucking got. But as far as you going to jail, that's only happened one time, and that's because the guy said he accidentally shot the guy. If somebody's coming at you and you got the full Rick is your six covered fucking Glock with all the fucking fancy shit on it, and your life was in danger and you shot him, it doesn't matter. It does not fucking matter. You were defending your life. They cannot come at you.
You have to prove you were defending your life.
Period. Well, you do it whether it was a stock fucking gun or not. It don't matter if it's a fucking full blown out fucking race gun or a stock gun. You still have to defend yourself. You know, I mean, it's no different. The prosecutor can say whatever he wants. If you have the enough evidence saying that, hey, this guy was rushing me, I had to defend myself, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, now, I'm not saying tomorrow this won't change. I'm just saying, as of today, there's only one time in history that a custom trigger ever got a guy put in jail. One time.
Now you're also missing the other part, and like Greg out in the chat room, he hit on it. You're missing the biggest part of and that is you can't buy good shooting. you can't buy a good shooter. Practice can always, unless you have a physical debility, trigger, or you can't rack the slide, unless you have an issue, a physical issue, training and practice will always better with your firearm. You cannot pay for a product that will replace training and practice.
Right, and I agree with that, Matt. I think if you have a disability and you can't rack the slide because you're trees are blowing, not to pick on you, but just like with your hand issue, I mean that would certainly help you in racking that round in the chamber or pulling the trigger because of your condition. And Rick, is your six covered as far as your question goes? I have no issue with opening that port and loading more rounds. I mean, to me, loading your firearm faster, I don't see that as a modification to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. It's like I think magwells just look goofy, but magwells and porting out the sides of that shotgun, that's not at all what we were talking about, or at least what I was talking about, because it's not a functional.
No, my question was.
It's not a functional moving piece inside the gun.
No, I wasn't saying it for you. I was basically saying like the manufacturers or whoever. Why don't they make it easier if it's a home protection gun or whatever the case is to actually just cut that out a little bit, make it easier for the end user to load shells. That's all I was saying.
It's a conspiracy, Rick. It's a conspiracy.
It was one of those lizards in the middle of the earth or whatever.
Remington and has a secret cabal of people are in cahoots with, and so they purposely leave the sidewalls long so that the gunsmiths can make a fortune in porting out 870s.
Exactly.
I'm going to go with Cobra Burnout's answer. It just costs more money.
Now, everything I just said, I do not agree with putting Punisher grips and, on the back of your Glock, if you have a Glock, kill them all, let God sort them out and all that shit. Don't put that shit on your gun. I'm just telling you, don't do that. I'm just stating the facts. I'm just stating the law, what's been done in the past. But don't put a bunch of shit on your gun that says, I want to kill fucking people. Don't do that. This is what I carry.
I agree.
Gen 2. Fucking police trade-in Glock. It's bone stock. I did put the 3.5 pound disconnect or whatever the fucking thing is. It lowered it down to 4.5 pounds. That's it. That's the only fucking thing I've done to it. That's it.
Let me ask you, TR, and I'm not picking on you, but since you brought it up, it's a good example. It took that 3.5 pound trigger disconnect kit, spring. Did you do just the disconnector or the entire spring kit too?
No, just the connector. That's it.
So it lowered it down to 4.5 pounds. Basically a pound lighter. Do you believe that truly made you that much of a better shooter, where a little bit of extra practice accomplished?
No, it's still the shittiest fucking trigger I ever felt in my life.
They do suck. Don't get me wrong.
But I mean, I can still shoot it. I can shoot it either way. To be honest with you, I agree with you, Matt, because whether or not I put that in there, I'll probably shoot it the same, because I don't give a damn what y'all think. I mean, I carry this gun, but I can shoot it good enough for self-defense. But it's still the shittiest fucking trigger I ever felt. Fuck y'all. I don't give a shit. The Glock trigger, it's not the worst trigger out there, but it is a shitty trigger. Period. But you can shoot it, and you can shoot it accurate enough for self-defense. I'll give you that.
I hear Red has an M&P.
Yes, I'm an M&P guy. I'm not a Glock fanboy. I hate on my friends, the Maverick Mafia guys out there, and I just give them a hard time. But I just, they're good guns. They've proven the test of time. I'm just not on the bandwagon of Glocks. But I've owned a Glock 17 before. It's just my
You're on the bandwagon of Glocks because M&P copied Glock when they made that gun.
No,
Which
the
one?
M&P
I'm just kidding.
about the only other pistol that I would consider owning. As far as like polymer, when we're talking the same class, like 1911s aren't the same class of pistol as the Glocks and shit like that. And that same caliber of pistols, M&P is about the only one I would consider, other one I would consider owning.
I own one. I like it. I don't shoot it very often. It sits in the safe more than anything. But yeah, it's a good gun. But it's back to it's a Smith and Wesson's Glock basically.
Now the SD9VE, I do own that. That's a Smith and Wesson. That is a clone of I guess a Glock 19, if you want to call it. I do have that one. The trigger on it sucks. I will admit that, and that's why I got the M&P. But I like mine. I like the M&P 9. I haven't had any issues with it. So.
Well, I got a Glock 17, and I've been fighting this stupid thing for 2 years. Some days it works better. Some days it's terrible. I am on the verge of trading this thing in.
The 17?
I think it's the operator.
I agree, Matt. I hate that trigger. Honest to God, I do. And I'm thinking about just going to CZs and 1911s and forget the striker fire altogether. Now, whether it's my hand issues or what, but these things are just killing me.
Put this kit in it, Don. It's like $56.
Oh God, no!
I know, Matt.
You just prove what Matt said.
I don't care what Matt said.
I put a 3.5 pound connector in it, Rick. It's got a 3.5 pound.
Don, for $359, you can get a Janik CZ75. It's got an awesome fucking trigger. You ain't got to fucking modify it. You ain't got to fucking do nothing to it. And you're done. You just buy it and you're done.
That's no fun. Take that shit apart.
That junk SAR I had, that B6, whatever it was, that was a Swedish shooting gun. If it hadn't have broke on me in 1,400 rounds, I fixed it and give it to one of the grandsons. That was a Swedish shooting gun, and it was a knockoff of CZ. But it's just a striker fire trigger in general. My Shield, I shoot it better than the Glock, but I still have problems with it.
I think the biggest difference I've noticed, and I don't know, I mean, I've watched so many videos, Don, where you're essentially target shooting, is the difference in what I do with mine versus what your average target shooter does. Because I don't stand static, bang, and like that. Every time I'm at the range with the pistol, it's all steps, move, shoot, mag changes. I don't have time to feel what the trigger feels like.
Well, the other day, the video I got, and I did it the other day, I was using the shot timer, and I've used this gun for IDPA. It's my IDPA gun I use, Matt. So is that Glock. And it's just, some days it's better than others, but it just don't fit me, It's just one of them guns that don't fit me,
What gen is it?
It's great. 4. Rid of it.
It's a Gen 4. Yeah.
Shave all that finger groove shit off of there. I know, Matt. Don't mess with the gun.
Now, the grips don't bother me. The grip don't bother me at all. It's all in that striker fire trigger. And like TR said, I could use it for defensive purposes. I carry it occasions. I got enough confidence in it for that, but it just, I don't like the striker fire, period. I'm just centering on the Glock, but even the shield, I don't like the striker fire.
See, Rick, you want to buy a $550 Glock, spend $400 fucking dollars on it, and I can spend $350 on a fucking CZ clone that's just as good or superior than what the fuck you're carrying.
I like my Glocks.
I'm telling you, I'm going next Farmageddon, next competition me and you go to, I'm going to use that CZ clone I got, and we're going to go head to head. Bring out the prettiest, fanciest, fucking most high dollar gun you got. Me and you going head to head. I'm going to use a stock CZ clone made in Turkey, and I'm going to beat your ass.
You need a set of dueling trees down there.
I'll shoot the CZ.
Because even with your $250 fucking trigger, that CZ clone I got still is better than that CZ. Because I felt it. I've been at your house. I felt that trigger. It's still not as good as that CZ clone I got.
I'll shoot the CZ.
Hey Rick, I got a question for you. So what sold you on the Glock? Just getting one. Why not another pistol?
Well, I've been shooting Glocks for 20 something years. I think like this one here, this is a Gen 1. And it's over 25 years old. I like the angle of the grip. I like that it works every time, minus my reloads that I've been using lately. But it works. It works good. I'm not I don't like double action or single and double action guns. I just don't. The the 320, the SIG makes now, that striker fire. Been kind of looking at those, but I don't like the height of the sight radius, the bore sight, the height of it. So I don't know. I'm just a fan.
I'm just giving Rick a hard time, but his Glock with that really high dollar custom trigger in it, it does feel good, but it still has that little bit of spongy feel to it to me. But I grew up shooting single actions, 1911s. Even if it was a fucking 357, we cocked it and shot it single action. So I'm used to that single action trigger.
Yeah.
And the Glock, I can shoot it, I carry it, I'm decent with it. And even with and I'm not downing Glocks. I'm just saying what I grew up with. I'm just the single action, it just is a more natural feel for me.
No, now if I could have any gun I could get, I would get an Infinity 2011. That's what I'd get. But that's a straight up race gun. And about $6,000.
How much are those competitions that you go to, Rick? I mean, how much do you average payout when you do?
How much is what?
How much are those competitions that you go to, the 3-gun? Like, what do you spend on those competitions?
They can range anywhere from $20 up to $250, depending on if you're shooting like a regional match but you can win a lot of cool shit too. I mean, you don't have to come in first place so they give away a lot of gifts as well.
And you meet other people, I'm sure, too, right?
Oh, yeah. If you went there to the next one and you didn't have any gear, there would be people saying, hey, try this on, try this, use my gun, this. I mean, the people, just like in, the people that are out here in the chat and stuff, everybody's super nice.
All right, Don's got to jump out. Appreciate you coming on. Trees are blowing. Don.
Thanks, TR. We'll see everybody later. Have a good chat.
Yeah,
Have
later,
a good
Don.
finish.
Yeah, like on Thursdays when I shoot just IDPA, it's $10. And you get to hang around a bunch of gun-friendly people and shoot the shit, have fun for the night, and do like three or four stages and It's just good fun. And you don't have to sit at the range and shoot straight at the target. You know, you get to be inside of the range and not sitting there in the thing around you. Get to move and shoot and crouch and all sorts of stuff.
So compared to the competition shootings that you go to versus pops, how different is that? Like the rules or regulations?
Well, the next one we're doing, Pops wants to do, like, here's a score sheet, and basically targets, you know, everything's timed, and then you get scored on your targets. So it's going to be a little more, it'll be a lot more fun and get people to be more accurate over speed, or try to find a happy medium. And then it just depends on what we want to do. I mean, it's just a bunch of guys coming up with shit and having fun.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I don't know if Pops is gonna allow y'all to shoot down the zip line, but I would go down the zip line and pop a few rounds off. I don't know if y'all could do that or not, but to see.
Oh, that'll be guaranteed.
You're only allowed
That'll
to
be
do it.
guaranteed. We've talked about this in the past. There'll be some shooting off of that thing. At least till the first guy shoots himself in the foot. And then
What'd you say, Matt?
You're only allowed to do it if you're doing it with a full auto Uzi, though, one-handed. Just
that would be cool.
Yeah, we'll probably do some practice runs just to see if that'll work. Where the zip line was this past weekend, it would be very easy. You might not hit shit, but it wouldn't be dangerous to do it. But we're gonna raise it on up and get a little more speed, and we'll see.
Yeah, because shooting a moving target would definitely be. It's a lot harder versus just standing in front of it and or even going down as you're walking through, trying to pop off, shots.
The Farmageddon thing, I mean, it's not a formal training facility. It's more have fun, but at the same time, challenge everybody. Skeet shooting, running and gunning, going through a pistol course where you are having to run to different spots and take out targets. It's not formal, but at the same time, a lot of people that's gone through everything that we've done, it was an eye opener and stuff they've never done before. Most people hadn't moved while shooting, and so it's not so much a scorecard; it's just training. Just opening somebody up to a different experience that's more realistic. But while having fun, so we kind of balance it out. It's more about having fun than anything, but at the same time, get people out of their element, not sitting at a bench shooting at a paper target. It's like move, run, gun, do this, do that, whatever you feel comfortable with, go do that, and do it as much as you want.
If I ever made it to Farmageddon, I probably wouldn't even do much shooting. I'd just be hanging out, just sitting in my camping chair laughing and having a good time.
You should try to make it if you can, Matt.
I definitely I wanted to last spring, but it fell too close to when I was going back to Ohio and I couldn't afford to do both. And my kid's birthday came before Farmageddon.
Usually what happens. It's in April.
To be honest,
it's in April.
No, March. We moved it up to March.
March? Oh, because of the weather.
Yeah, it rains too much in April. That's what I did, Matt. I really didn't shoot that much. I just hung around with everybody and fucking shot the shit and people that needed help or whatever. I don't even say help, but just I don't know how to say it. But anyhow, I was just there for like support and helping out with everybody and kicking back and shit. I didn't shoot that much, but at the same time, hell, all I got to do is walk outside and shoot. So it's not that big a deal for me to shoot a gun, So
Yeah,
but for some people, it is.
Yeah, I'm shooting every weekend, so it's not like So yeah, for some people, it's like they don't get to shoot all the time.
I think the most we shot was the shotguns because everybody just was having a blast at that.
Yeah, the whole thing is just about having fun. Like I said, hell, even this weekend, it was no event. It was just Rob's family. And I think I talked about it earlier, but all of a sudden they were all interested in shooting guns. And hell, I broke out the AR and blah, blah, blah. And shit, we was just sitting back feeding them ammunition. It was like, well, hell, shoot this, whatever it was, And, it was more about making a next generation or helping get people interested in guns and target shooting and self-defense, whatever it is. It was more about that than me shooting. Hell, I can shoot anytime I fucking want. I would rather get somebody else interested in shooting and, exercising their Second Amendment right. So I'll feed them fucking ammo for a AR or 9mm or whatever it is to get them interested in it and let them have fun doing it. We were just trying to make it fun for them, So it's not that big a deal for me to shoot a gun. Yeah, but for some.
You guys ought to set up a glass house and do some room clearing.
Yeah, we could make it a lot more serious if we wanted to, no doubt.
Hey guys, I was or TR and Rick, I know y'all go to that Farmageddon. Yeah, y'all should make it more interesting and shoot other things other than the targets y'all been shooting at, like, I don't know, water balloons, water jugs, just to kind of get that explosion look,
Yeah.
Here we shot fucking 16 pounds of tannerite. I mean, shit. They just go to 8 pounds at a time, but
go to Walmart and buy half a dozen or so of those small green camping propane canisters and some road flares, duct tape them to it, and we'll have some fun. Shoot that bitch while the flare's on it.
That'll do it. Oh, cold as crap.
No,
there you go.
What's that?
The propane canister. Here we go. The propane canister with a lit road flare duct tape to it, and on the other side of it, got big Ziploc bags taped around it full of non-dairy creamer.
All right, we'll do the road flares and 2 pound or whatever the little green cans are. We'll do that. Yeah, I think we can do that.
Hey, TR,
we don't want to do anything with too much metal in it, because even with the pumpkin, it shot the pumpkin 60 yards toward our direction. So
TR,
metal traveled further.
Oh, TR, I was going to say, my friend Midas out there in the chat had mentioned about doing bags of flour. You shoot that with the shotgun. That's pretty cool too.
We got Pop's Quest has pounds and pounds of tannerite. Tannerite is no problem. We always leave and it's like, damn it, we still got tannerite we didn't shoot.
getting cold.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Getting cold.
42. Yeah, right. What are you on? 83 right now, probably?
No, it's been getting down to the low 50s, high 40s at night.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, my house was a fucking ice box when I got back because I hadn't been here in 3 days.
Yeah, we
It's just now getting
had frost last night. All the water bowls were frozen. It's freaking cold.
all right.
Yeah, we'll blow something up.
Yeah. Yeah, but Rick, we bumped it up to March. We still don't have any dates, but we're just thinking April showers. So we're thinking March might be a little bit better time. If anybody wants to go to Farmageddon, you'll have to get with Pop's Quest because it's his event. I'm just a attendee. And since he's probably not watching this, I'm his freaking slave when I go down to the farm. He worked my ass off this weekend, but it was all good. It was all fun. But we set up the zip line for his kids, his girls. And but yeah, it was a lot of fucking work. But anyway, but yeah, anybody that wants to go to Farmageddon, it's near Charleston, South Carolina. When I say near, I mean near. It's not down that far. It's around the Santee Lakes. If you want to go, it's invite only. So I'm just saying, if you want to go, it'll be March next year. You'll have to get in touch with him and set that up, whether he says yay or nay. I don't mean to be, it's not that we are all pompous or whatever. It's just that, you know, you can only have so many fucking people. You can't have 100 people running around fucking shooting guns. I mean, come on.
Yeah, sure you can.
Well, not people you don't know.
Oh, well.
Because then somebody gets shot.
Well, that just adds a whole new level of interest.
You got a point there. A little level of danger to it.
TR. Catch one person on video getting shot, post to your channel. That's YouTube gold. You'll be able to live off that video for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you get like 1 million hits.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. But I might be the one that gets shot. That's the only problem.
Well, then you get to make 2 videos. You get to post
Yeah.
the one of you got, and then the one explaining it. So that's twice the hits.
And then one at the hospital.
You could do the ambulance ride as one of them. You could do the surgery.
Well, hell, it's dangerous enough. The ones we trust, fucking Pops Quest put out a video. I don't know if y'all seen it or not. Hell, we was sitting there by the campfire and he threw a fucking handful of 22s in the goddamn fire and they blew up.
I saw that.
I mean, I knew we wasn't going to get hurt, but still, I mean, we're dangerous enough by ourselves. Yeah.
Hey guys, I got to split.
Yeah, I'm about to end this. It's been 2 hours. Let's go ahead and cut this off. Red October, I appreciate you coming by.
Appreciate it.
And I'm going to let you do an outro.
All right.
Red October.
So outro, just thanks again for inviting me. It was fun hanging out with you guys. And if you haven't checked out my channel, come by and stop by. I shoot guns, I build projects, just talk about common sense stuff. And again, thanks for having me. And just a shout out to the Maverick Mafia friends out there, 4 Horsemen. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all have a good night.
Cool. Hey, man, I've been wanting to expand the panel a little bit, and I always enjoy your videos and thought you'd be a good asset to the panel. So look forward to seeing you more on here. Rick, is your 6 covered? What you got going on?
Not much. Got some videos coming out. Thanks again, TR, for helping me with the tree. But no, not much. If you haven't subscribed, come on over and check it out. Good enough.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, interesting discovery. I hadn't done it yet, but I'll go back and put everybody's link in the description below. Matt, you got anything coming up? Or anything you want to talk about before we shut this down?
I really enjoyed of him doing blow off of a hooker's hip bone. That was interesting. So if anybody wants to see that, go look at Rick's channel. I got a new video out that's butt hurting a lot of people. Got a couple more that I've got in the works right now. Yeah, just check out Resist the Tyranny, Guns, Gear, and Politics, or RTT, Guns, Gear, and Politics. Either way, you'll find it. And that's about it.
Well, thanks, guys, for coming on, and I appreciate it. And we'll be back next week, and I also do a Tuesday night chat for anybody that's new and don't know about it. 9:30 on Tuesday nights, I'll do a chat too. But other than that, we'll see you next time.
All right, audio.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.